Hello, I am May. Today is January 1st, 2025. Whoa, whoa. Congrats on making it another year. I'm telling this to myself and you guys. We did so good. Yes, this is the second video of navigating my 20s. Yay! I was consistent for the second time, so awesome. I kind of wanted to split this video up into kind of like a what is the word? Oh yeah, looking back and then looking forward into 2025, kind of doing like a short little reflection of 2024, kind of like what I learned and my experience and everything like that, kind of like low-key like the last video, but like just a little bit, okay, just a little bit. And then most of the video will be like looking forward and goals and everything like that, which is something that I want to kind of put into like a form of media so I can remind myself whenever I need to remind myself. Yeah, so let's get started. Happy New Year. Yes. Okay. 2024, what a year for May. Let's just say that this was probably, it's gonna get real a little bit, but probably one of the hardest years for me in my 20 years of living. I thought that like middle school and like high school was the worst. No, like past year, I think I like struggled the most like internally. Also like with relationships and just like I wasn't really taking care of myself and I wasn't really being the person I wanted to be. So I learned a lot this year. The things that I thought in my life would be permanent eventually were not. I mean, nothing in life is permanent. I didn't know that at the time. But yeah, there's just a lot of like, what a mess. It was just a mess. Like, I'm never gonna do that again. Like, 0 out of 10 experience, do not recommend. If any of you guys had any similar experiences or similar, emotions. I know I was being really vague because I don't want to get like too personal, but please, if you ever need to talk about it, I'm here. If anybody gets it, I get it. Let's just say that. But yeah, instead of just focusing on the bad though, I kind of wanted to touch on what I learned from this year, especially the beginning of the year. That was kind of like very heavy for me. One thing I learned is how to be resilient. Resilience, let's talk about it. What does it actually mean? Well, I think that it's, at least for me, it's doing things that are hard even when you're not in the best state. I mean, like that's when things are really tough. I feel like that's kind of when your resiliency shows, especially when there's like not that much support for you from your friends or your family and stuff like that. Like when things are like kind of up in the air, all you really have is yourself and your mentality. So I think over the course of 2024, I kind of solidified that in my head where I was like, I need to be able to rely on myself regardless of what is going on around me. And I know that I can do hard things, I've been through what I've been through. So I think learning how to be resilient and fight through tough times is something I learned this year. Yeah, applause. Another thing after resilience is confidence. I think I definitely got a lot more confident this year. Just like socially and just like in my body and in like my mental state. I think that around the beginning of the year, I was like very insecure. Like I was getting out of a tough relationship and everything like that. And I was kind of lost for a little while, honestly. But I think honestly just pouring my energy into things that like filled my cup, like dance and crocheting and singing and drawing and writing. I love to write. All of that kind of like boosted my confidence because I'm like, I'm not too bad at these things, and like being able to create, I think, is just an awesome thing to do. Like we're all, at the end, we're all human and we're all creators because we are human. And that really built up my confidence because I was like, I'm enjoying myself through these things. Okay, confidence, yay! And then one last thing I learned this year has kind of been like a big theme for me is forgiveness of myself, forgiveness for myself and like the other people. I think that like people really forget what forgiveness means, and they forget it's like a hard thing to do, especially when you try to forgive yourself. I think that I'm one of those people in my life where I'm really tough on myself. I know that we all are extremely tough on ourselves, and truly being able to say that you did something wrong and then put in the necessary steps to fix it or like alleviate the problem, or say, hey, I was wrong, here's what I can do better, or something like that. Whatever it is, however you go about it, the end result has to be you just understanding that that mistake can't happen again, and you are better because of it, that you made it once, if that makes sense. I don't know. So yeah, just knowing your truth, knowing that it happened, accepting it, and then forgiving yourself, because that's really all we can do in the end. Otherwise, it just becomes like kind of like a cyclical thing. I'm sure we all know. I know, easier said than done, forgiveness. But yeah, it's essential, and it takes lifetimes. Not something that you need to rush necessarily, but just starting, I think, is important. I think I started that this year. And in regards to other people, I think like, I don't know, it's easier said than done to forgive other people, especially if things end in the best way and like stuff like that. But your peace is much more important. And I think that being able to forgive other people, regardless of how it ended or how it started or everything that happened, is really important. So yeah, that's kind of like the last thing I want to talk about. Looking back. Oh, also, wait. Yeah. That's all I wanted to talk about for like looking back. I have my notes right here. That's why I keep on glancing here. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Okay, the next segment will be looking forward. Oh, bye. Hello again. Okay, this is the looking forward into 2025. Whoa, let's go. Okay, I'm turning 20 in January. Well, this month. Actually the 11th. Haha. Oh my god. I'm stressed about it. I always get super emotional on my birthdays because I'm like, yo, where am I supposed to be in life? I need to be doing this, and this. But I really hope that doesn't happen this year. I mean, I usually like stress myself out and I just cry, but I don't want to be doing that this year because I'll be having a plan. That's what we're doing right now. But yeah, honest feelings. I feel kind of scared. I think that 20 is like my first, I'm not a teen anymore, like, and I kind of have to be more responsible and everything like that. That isn't what necessarily scares me, but like, I think getting old is like, but I'm not like I'm getting old. I'm not like 80, but just getting older and like more added responsibilities and adulthood. Kind of scary. What do I expect from this year? I really want good things to happen to me, like anybody else. I really don't think it could possibly get worse than that last year. So, yeah. Anyway, what is our mental vibe for 2025? I had an epiphany last night. Let me just tell you this. I realized that maintaining balance in your life keeps the ball rolling. Let me explain. If you struggle with like motivation or like just doing even the easiest things on the tough days, this will kind of help you. If you learn how to figure out, or just attempt to find balance in life. What does that mean? First off, for me, it's like balancing dance with school, making sure that I'm keeping my grades up and studying for exams and everything while taking care of my body for dance and everything like that, and taking time to journal and write creatively, which are things that fill my cup. Just being able to allot time during, the day or the week or the month, whatever I like plan it out as, to just basically like keep myself engaged in different ways so that I don't necessarily get that drained. That keeps the ball rolling in life. You know that saying where it's kind of like the day, like how you live your day now is how you live the rest of your life. Yeah, something like that. Kind of similar, where it's like if you keep on doing the things that are even like, oh, you're one day, wow, you're lazy one day and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I just don't have the energy to do the dishes, or like I just can't do it. I struggle with that a lot, and I think that being able to maybe say, hey, if I do the dishes, maybe I can dance for an hour and then I can do my homework. I get to do these things, and giving yourself that kind of like understanding is like, hey, I know it's hard, but you can do hard things, and kind of just figuring out what your balance looks like on a day. If you're like feeling more drained, maybe you take it easy and then you do things that lift you up more. If you're feeling like physically drained, then you rest your body and then like complete a lot of homework, something like that. Just me, like kind of like manipulating the balance to benefit you, just to keep the ball rolling. And yeah, I gave you some ideas to do that. This is basically me talking to myself because I struggle with this the most. But keeping balance, ways to do that: hang out with people that have the same interests as you, so you're not really feeling very alone in this process. Everybody's figuring out how to balance different aspects of their life. So I think finding community that really speaks to you and kind of likes to do the same things you do is really important. So really get out there and do that, because that's important. Another way to find balance is to do things with intention. I like the saying where it's like, be where your feet are. I find that my mind likes to wander a lot and like kind of overthink a lot, but I kind of find solace in this quote that tells me to kind of just be where my feet are. You're here in this moment, even if it's just the smallest thing, like just drinking coffee. Just truly flesh out that moment and feel it as much as possible. And that kind of staying present allows you to kind of like live actively. Yeah, okay. There was another thing I wanted to mention. Oh yes, doing things when it's difficult. How do you do that? You just got to do it. The only way you can build consistency in life and kind of build habits that you can fall back on when things are tough is by doing the things that you need to do, like taking care of yourself. And if you're a student, your school, like not letting those things like fall away in life is when you do it when it's hard. Does that make sense? I don't know what I just said. But basically what I mean is like doing shit, especially when it's difficult. Like there's no other way. You have to give all that you have, even if it's a rough day. Like that's your 100%. If you tried your best, that's your 100%. And at the end, it's benefiting you. Like it may seem like kind of harsh, but it's truly something that it's taken a long time for me to figure out. Like nobody is going to be there for you when, like, I don't mean it like that. You have your support group, but being able to push yourself is a skill that you need to develop. And because consistency is what you build by yourself. So yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about is staying vigilant, because balancing act of life is kind of like a never-ending process, and it's always going to change every day, even because you're kind of like different person every day. You do different things. So kind of being able to recognize your strengths and weaknesses and use that to balance your energy will help your life a lot, I think. And it's really important for me to like put this into practice this year, because I find myself getting really drained easily, and I think that if I do the different things that fill my cup differently, because I have different cups, we all do, then it'll be good. Then we will be able to have energy for the things that require us to have energy. and everything like that. And we can be 100% when we need to be 100%. Okay, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about for the moving forward for 2025. I'm excited for what this new year has to bring for all of us. I will be doing an update in February just to see how we keep the ball rolling. Happy New Year, everybody. We can do this together. Yay!